Tasty Temptation, a story by Chidima Clement of children dealing with making right choices unsupervised. I could hear mother talking excitedly with Pa. Nne. Why does she sound so elated? I get up from my bed. Then I hear a deep breath. I looked back, realizing Ezinne, my older sister, was sleeping beside me. She didn't stare, so I went to my destination, the living room, where Nne and Nna were. On getting there, I saw Nne clearing the table. That means they just finished dinner. I rushed to her. Nne, I'm hungry. German eater. She smiled. I giggled. Go greet your father before you start talking about food. I rushed to my father, greeted him, and ran into his waiting arms. I can see you just woke up from your siesta. I smiled. But what were you discussing with your mother? I was telling her I was hungry. German eater. I laughed. Help me take my shoes to my room. Okay. I grabbed the shoes from the floor and put them in Nna's room. I shoved them quickly into his wooden shoe rack, slammed the door, and raced back to the kitchen. I find Nne there. Nne, please, is my food served? I think my intestines are at war now. I can hear them growling. Nne laughed. Your stomach is always growling. We shared a laugh. Yes, Nne. Yes. Is something interesting happening soon? Why do you ask? Nne said. I heard you talking excitedly to Nna from my room. Gee, have I not warned you that you shouldn't eavesdrop when people are discussing? Nne, I wasn't eavesdropping. I just overheard you from my room. I wasn't even close. Oh, okay then. Well, I plan to tell you and your sister, Ezinne. Wait till then. Before I could respond, I saw Ezinne walking towards the kitchen to join Nne and I. Nne, I don't have to wait too long. Here comes Ezinne. Who called my name? Ezinne asked as she entered the kitchen. I did, I replied. Nne, good evening. Ezinne greeted our mother. How are you and how was your rest? I hope you enjoyed it. I'm fine, Nne. I enjoyed my rest. Only that I woke up quite hungry. That makes two of us. I quickly chipped and we all burst into laughter. Alright, hungry people, go set the table. Okay, Nne. Ezi and I chorused. We rushed to the dining table to set it up. Then we ran to the kitchen to carry our plates filled with rice, beans, vegetable sauce, and fish. We walked briskly to the table, set our plates down, and began to eat with relish. We spoke in whispers, so Nne wouldn't hear us. It was taboo to speak while eating, but somehow that was one of our children's naughty habits we kept. I think Nne and Nna are going somewhere, I whispered to Ezinne. Really? She whispered back. We didn't notice Nne's shadow. She was right behind us. "What have I told you about gossiping?" she shouted. We froze on our seats. Nne turned to where we could see her and stood hands akimbo. "What have I told you about gossiping?" "I'm sorry," we whispered simultaneously. "That would be the last time I heard such from any of you," Nne rebuked us sharply. "Yes, ma," we chorused. We were thankful Nne didn't decide to discipline us or even call Nna to the scene. "And Chi, when I tell you I will share something with you, you have to wait patiently. Do you understand?" "Yes, ma," I replied. Nne sat down at the table with us. "I have something to discuss with you. Your father and I will be attending a dinner night tomorrow. We will be back at midnight." "Are we also attending the dinner?" Nne asked. "I don't think so," I said. "Could you be quiet?" "Sorry, Nne," we chorused. "You will stay with Mrs. Agugalam." Nne and I exchanged looks. "Make sure you behave yourselves." "Remember all I have taught you about modesty, courtesy, and respect." "Yes, ma," we replied. We cleared our plates. I whispered to Ezinne, "I don't think I would like to stay at Mrs. Agugalam's house tomorrow night." "Me too," Ezinne replied. "I don't like hanging around her sons." She continued, "We must stay awake and sit by each other all through our stay there." "Okay," I concurred. "However, I don't think her daughters are as bad as that," Ezinne replied. "I didn't say anybody's bad. I just said we should be cautious. I don't think Mrs. Agugalam's children would share our mother's thoughts about chastity. After all, Nedu, her first daughter, has a boyfriend." "Boyfriend?" I queried. "Yes," Ezinne replied. "I don't think we share the same values. Nne and Nna have no other place to keep us, so we have to stay there." I said. "Even that Mrs. Agugalam herself," I continued. "That's enough," Ezinne shut me up. "Remember, Nne said no gossip." "Oh, okay." I swallowed my words, although they were fighting to come out through my teeth. By this time, we were almost done washing the dishes. We cleaned the kitchen in silence till Ezinne broke into a song. "Nene, udu maraputamo, udu, nene, udu maraputamo, udu, udu mechu mirina mama gina mudu." I joined her, and we go to bed on a happy note.